What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome to episode 21 of the Las Vegas Raiders franchise here in Madden 20. And we're coming from maybe the most, controversial episode. There were a lot of people that were unhappy that we sent Derek Carr, we sent Tyrell Williams, and a first overall pick to the Minnesota Vikings for Kirk Cousins, and for ultimately the pick that we were able to use to draft the franchise, Trevor Lawrence. Big number 16, maybe the greatest quarterback prospect of all time. But there were plenty of people that like Derek Carr. Now, I need to be completely upfront and honest. I am a member of the, I'm not a Raider fan base, but I'm a member of the Derek Carr supporters community. There's a reason why we didn't just trade Derek Carr right at the beginning of this franchise mode. I give him 2 seasons where he played pretty damn good, right? Statistically speaking, Derek Carr played pretty damn good through 2 years for us here in Oakland and then Las Vegas. But I gave him the ultimatum that after 2 years, if we didn't see any progress, we didn't see playoffs, we're going to have to move on, because the worst thing that you can do in the National Football League is get into that purgatory level. That level that, maybe the backup we have in Kirk Cousins has kind of reached, where, like, statistically speaking, you might be fine, but no one ever is really going to take you seriously as a winner. And I think the argument against Derek Carr is not only did we set this ultimatum that he had to win, but he couldn't overcompensate for a bad defense. We have plenty of playmakers. Derek Carr was never, he got 32 and 36 touchdowns. Why wasn't he getting 46 and 42 touchdowns, and maybe we could get away to win? I think ultimately he got bailed out by Antonio Brown being a freak of nature. Antonio Brown being the best wide receiver in football. A lot of bad throws from Derek Carr were overcompensated because Antonio Brown could come down and make a play. A lot of Derek Carr's numbers were because AB would take, the yards after the catch would be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you could probably shave off 1,000 minimum yards after catch for Derek Carr's passing numbers. I mean, that is a number that, you'll see that for quarterbacks around the league, but more so for Derek Carr. The numbers were good. He felt and played pretty good. But I'm chalking up his big numbers anyway, if you're just looking at it from a pure statistical standpoint, to the playmakers he has around him versus Derek Carr really elevating the game of an Antonio Brown or a Renfro, or we saw some growth and development from Moreau here at the tight end spot. So we're going to be going with Trevor Lawrence as our new quarterback, and we have to just move on. If you're a segment of that fan base that loves Derek Carr, hey, Go do your own Raiders franchise. I'm here for the Tank for Trevor fan base that finally has their man. We don't know what dev trade he's going to unveil. We got to get 500 snaps. He's going to play in the preseason, and I'm hoping he's going to be a baller, man. We need more X factors. We need more superstars. We need more abilities, because the more I've played in other franchise modes, other rebuilds with players with abilities, it just generally makes Madden a lot funner. And we got one with AB. We got Rodney Hudson, who has 2 abilities. CeeDee Lamb got, I don't know what his ability, doesn't even have any yet. In and Out Elite, which is pretty good. And then soon, at one more point, he'll unlock a brand new ability. Hopefully we can get that done in the preseason. You look at the defense, we got 2 guys here, and Mo Hurst and Cleveland Ferrell. Not X Factors, but superstars, and we've seen them time and time again last year take over games. And that's not even X Factor, so just please, we need more abilities. That is key. And I'm the last time I'm going to mention this. So annoyed that we were unable to go out and at right outside linebacker get Keon O'Neal. Like, that is something that is always going to just, oh my God, it pissed me off that we couldn't get him, because that would have been another X Factor. We would have got that fumble cheese, something that can help go head to head when we go up against the Chargers and Derwin James. But unfortunately, we're going to have to rethink our entire free agency approach. I don't know what we're going to do to make it work, but through 2 years, we have not been able to get that big free. The biggest free agent we brought in was Darren Lee, and he was solid last season. But, what did he do last year? Darren Lee has 30 tackles. He was barely utilized. I don't know, fellas, but we are going for the preseason. So today, you're going to see highlights from all 4 of the preseason games. And as always, I'm going to make this, a tradition, is that at the end of every preseason episode, I'm going to show my complete updated XP and gameplay sliders. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, that's going to be at the very end of the video. Probably just, if you don't want to watch the preseason, and if you don't, are you a real fan? Probably the last 4 or 5 minutes of the video will be my sliders, so you guys can utilize them in your own franchise modes. But I am excited. I'll tell you right now, going into our little league settings, because we're in the preseason. We learned our lesson last time. I'm just highlighting that injuries are always going to be turned off for the preseason. And we play as realistic as we can. It's just preseason injuries for how dumb injuries have been in Madden 20, especially for the Raiders. It's just better if we turn them off and then pop them back on in the regular season. So let's get into the preseason. Let's have the debut of Trevor Lawrence. And let's see how the connection of Trevor Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb, Moreau, AB is firing here at Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. All right, face 3rd and 6. 2 runs for Trevor Lawrence. Let's see. We got Redfro as his first read. That's his favorite target from back at Clemson. Let's see what we can do. Come on. Not good. Not a great pass. Forced it. Okay, come on. I just want to show you guys at least the first completion. Oh, let's go to AB. And he's going to make a lot of yards after the catch like he did for Derek Carr. I'm sure for Mr. Trevor Lawrence. Ooh, 2 feet in. They're the most undeserved Pro Bowl I've ever seen. Damon Ratley. We got Kirk Cousins coming in, slanging that rock. Gonna make the preseason a little exciting, right? We got a proven vet, and that was a dime to Ratley. Oh, it's Ratley again. We have some openings here. Top depth wide receiver, and Ratley is making the most. He's gonna be the Keelan Doss of this preseason. You're watching Hard Knocks.
All day, every day, any day.
Oh, Damian Ratley is ridiculous. He is ridiculous.
Hey, that's the way you finish, boy. Finish strong. Yeah, let's go.
Look at this. Throws it underthrown off Josh Jackson, the former talented corner out of Iowa, and Ratley just gets his 3rd touchdown of the game. Unbelievable. That's incredible. Who is it? What's his name? What's his name? Say his name. Here we go. We'll get a nice little Marcel Aitman bomb from Tyree Jackson. This is a high-scoring game. Not a lot of defense. These guys on the roster bubble in the defense. Not a great look through first preseason game. At the end of the first preseason game, what I do find out is Tyree Jackson probably is the worst throwing motion in the history of Madden. Kirk Cousins was on point, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. The picture kind of weird, but let's be honest. For the preseason, one man stole the show. Damian Ratley out of Texas A&M. Made the Pro Bowl last year as a special teamer. We got 6 catches, 191 yards, 4 touchdowns. Marcel Aitman also making a case to make the squad. 133 yards, got a touchdown as well. Defensively, C.J. Henderson got a couple tackles. Dogby and Summers getting the sacks. Isaiah Johnson and Obi Melifonwu with a pick. However, we fall to 1-0 in the preseason. But hey, we're seeing some positives. So let's go to week 2. We got a couple miscellaneous things. First up, Rodney Hudson wants to take John Runyon, our starting guard, young guard, under his wing. We definitely want his pass blocking to improve. We got a little bit of power as well. These are the best scenarios to get. I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed, that Kirk Cousins gives us one of these for Mr. Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if I've seen QBs do it yet, but hopefully. If not, here's going to be in kind of an open-ended question for you guys. I'm going to be scouring through the comments. There is a team that really wants Kirk Cousins. I'll set up a trade. I was just trying to see, because, I mean, Kirk Cousins showed out there in that first preseason game. There's one team that desperately wants him, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a team I absolutely could make a move because they still just have Andy Dalton. And I'd rather, let's be honest, Kirk Cousins, Andy Dalton. Probably want to go Kirk Cousins if you've exhausted all the options. So, should I look to trade Kirk Cousins? Or would that be, I mean, I probably, like, there's some moves, some guys on their team that I think I would like that would be depth. I think Jermaine Pratt at linebacker could come in and be some nice depth. He can play pretty much everywhere we want. He fits the mold of a linebacker that we like. The original trade that I was kind of mocking up, Sam Hubbard has a star dev 75, but he's now buried on that depth chart behind Apenza. He could come in, be a rotational edge rusher for us, maybe an upgrade over Arden Key. I mean, you got Renell Wren at D tackle, great athlete, kind of fits the mold as well of that the athletic D tackle, 82 acceleration, 90 strength, the D tackles that we're trying to get. Neville Gallimore and Mo Hurst both would be described as great athletes. Beyond that, I mean, we get Ben Petrula at center, rookie. I don't know if we could get him included in the deal, but as a depth, get someone that could start to be groomed behind Rodney Hudson, even though we got the greatest name ever, Lloyd Cushenberry III. Tight end, get a guy like Drew Sample. He is a scheme fit from Washington, not 86 catching. We can have our second tight end situation figured out. They have Justin Ross. No more John Ross. There's no way we could get that, even though it would be dope to pair Trevor Lawrence with his former college wide receiver. Fullback, we're good at running back. I mean, we can look at Rodney Anderson. I mean, we're good at running back. So, yeah, you look at QB, they have a lot of questions, and they really, for whatever reason, apparently want Kirk Cousins over Costello. I mean, see when other teams at least have a green on the trade block for Kirk Cousins. We got the Denver Broncos, who their current quarterback is Teddy Bridge. I mean, yeah, you could, I guess. You could want Kirk Cousins. We could see what we can grab here. I mean, when you look at weakness of our team, we don't really have a whole lot. But, like I said, if you guys want to see me start trying to slang some players here to bring in some guys that might be better fits for our team, I mean, we got Kirk Cousins. We can go to the Bengals. We can go to the Broncos. The Falcons. What? What's going on there? Did they not have Matt Ryan? Oh, they still want him, even though they don't have Matt Ryan. They still have Matt Ryan. That's ridiculous. We won't make that one. The Giants. Ooh, there could be a landing spot. I don't know who the hell we'd want to try to get from them. I mean, it's looking like a kind of weak team, What they got? Chris Jones in free agency. Good on ya, New York Giants. Look at the linebacking core. Ugh. I mean, Lorenzo Carter, maybe something like that. I mean, we could take him and switch him to defensive end if we really wanted to. Like that could be a move. I mean, look at Lorenzo Carter moving that guy to DN. 6'5", 250, star dev, 88 speed, 9. Oh. If you guys think we should do that, or at least try and work that one with the Giants, I'm gonna be on board. The Jags want a QB. Do they still have Foles? We're not gonna disrespect them, and they got Cole McDonald ready to take over. Man, there's some teams. There definitely are some teams out here that could make a play for Kirk. Who's quarterback for the Saints? Brissett? Nick? Ooh, no, they just got JT Daniels. We won't make that trade. So yeah, I mean, if you guys think we should trade Kirk Cousins, especially looking at Lorenzo Carter there, who's depth piece, that would be a huge asset for us here on the Raiders. Maybe we can make some calls. But let's get into preseason game 2.
90 Wolf.
Let's try this again. Renfro. Beautiful. Couldn't have wrote it any better. If someone, preseason or not, had to catch Trevor Lawrence's first touchdown pass, you probably would have guessed it being Hunter Renfro. That combination looks on point. Oh, Renfro. Oh, we'll take that. CeeDee Lamb off the ridiculous deflection. I don't know what this is, a preseason of deflections. Gets Lawrence's second touchdown. That's insanity to tie this preseason game up right before half. Look at that. Big double doink. And sure, man, keep your eyes on the prize. Benjamin, wheel route out the backfield. He gone. And Kirk Cousins continues to put on a display as he sits on that trade block. All right, 0-2 in the preseason. Wasn't hot. Kirk Cousins wasn't hot. I mean, it was all right, actually, but you know what they say, right? You know what they say. Teams that win in the preseason never do shit in the regular season. They never make the playoffs. So it's a good omen to just be garbage in the preseason like we're doing. We're setting a precedent here. Year 3 of the preseason, and this is exactly what you want to see. Antonio Brown wanting to, it's Hunter Renfro. He's trying to come out here and help the guy that we thought 100% they would be beefing. Unless there's some ulterior motives where they're trying to get like, let's help him on his long routes here because he's pretty much a straight slot. We thought AB was going to have a big-time beef with Renfro. They had it last year. Maybe this is AB saying, I'm not insane. This is me trying to open up some dialogue between all of us. Clear the air. Let me help him out a little bit. Or maybe AB's worried that with Renfro and now Trevor Lawrence slanging the rock, he could be on the outside looking in, and he wants those stats, man. AB is about AB first and foremost. So I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of, secret spying going on, some ulterior motives. But for the time being, shout out to AB for taking Renfro under his wing. Oh, Renfro running away from Thomas, and AB gets the block. If AB doesn't make that block, that selfless act, I don't think Renfro gets that 52-yard touchdown. I love this new mature Antonio Brown. That was awesome. And that connection, the Clemson connection, looking on point. All right, we're 2nd and goal with Trevor Lawrence here in the second quarter. Definitely want to see if we can get that AB connection going. That AB connection was lethal with Derek Carr. And it looked like it, pretty much insert any quarterback, AB with that X factor is just going to be unstoppable. 9-20, man. He's in the red zone. AB in the red zone. X factor. It's too OP. Ladies and gentlemen, I may introduce to you the cyborg, the football machine known as Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. 3rd touchdown of the game. Oh, there's Ratley. Nice little slant. The main target is 5th touchdown of the preseason. No one's improved their drafts. They're just their stock in general more than Damian Ratley, running away from Iman Marshall, former USC product. And Doug Peterson, who for some reason is now the coach of the Baltimore Ravens, is on the get that L. Get that. Doesn't get a lot of L's, Doug Peterson, but he gets one here as we are able to finally get our first dub of the preseason. And what a performance. I mean, I don't really think you could say you have a breakout game in the preseason, but Trevor Lawrence, as advertised in this performance here, with Kirk Cousins had 2 tutties, had a pick, I think, as well. But Trevor Lawrence, almost a near perfect QBR, 18 of 23, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Got 12 rushing yards. Benjamin, 92. Josh Jacobs was effective as well. Moreau, 6 for 82, 5 for 87, 2 touchdowns for Renfro. AB had 40 yards and a touchdown. Ratley and J.J. Nelson also got scores. That was a little bit later on. We got a couple sacks, Ty Summers and Arden Key. A pick from Jonathan Abram, who got 6 a year ago. As you know, and the 3rd preseason game is usually, you're fine. You played most of your starters. We played most of our starters for the first half there, and everything seems to be trending in the right direction. I think a lot of the boo birds, guys that are upset about Derek Carr, you're starting to see what we all saw in Trevor Lawrence, and you can see, man. You smell that? It doesn't smell like Derek Carr, never making the playoff purgatory. No, it smells like optimism that this Raider squad can go incredibly far this season and in the near future. Opening drive here for Trevor Lawrence. He's only getting the first drive and what's going to be a huge game to potentially sell the Giants on trading for Kirk Cousins if that's an avenue we all want to go down. Let's see. Oh, AB. AB! Oof. Get used to seeing that. Get used to seeing that. This is the final time that doesn't actually count for anything. Oh, Ratley! Oh, you do not get caught from behind by Julian Love. There you go. He's a burnt. My God. We need to find ways to get him involved in the regular season. He's going to be wide receiver 4. But if someone goes down to injury, who needs Tyrell Williams? Everyone's still, look at that. Love just looking like a complete moron. That's why it's the preseason. These guys are scrubs. Because Ratley's been tearing it up. What was that, 6 touchdowns in the preseason? Probably 600 yards too. And for the final game of the preseason, well, the biggest takeaway from this game was, can Kirk Cousins make himself look appealing enough to wanted to get traded to by the Giants? We still could try to make that move if you guys think that's what's best for business. Lawrence looked great today. Do we try to move Cousins to maximize the value, or do we kind of have him to be realistic of reminding us what we gave up to get Trevor Lawrence? He's that bad reminder, that $20 million cap hit, at least for 1 year reminder that we drastically changed this team. And if Trevor Lawrence starts stinking, we'll just look at Kirk Cousins and know. Could have been Derek Carr. What if? Who knows what's going on? If we're looking at the rest of the Raiders, Damian Ratley, all-star. Absolute all-star for this preseason. He's been outstanding. Defensively, do we get anything done? A couple half sacks. CJ Henderson got a pick. He definitely needs to take a big step here in year number 2. But 1-3 in the preseason. Not amazing, but it's the preseason. And we got to see a little sneak peek, a couple snippets of Trevor Lawrence. So let's wrap up the episode by showing you guys what sliders we're going to be rocking here for year number 3 of the Raiders franchise. And I'll let you guys go on and enjoy your weekend. Before we can show you the sliders, it's time for my favorite part of the offseason. Guys that are cut. Stenberg, you cut. Luke Ford, practice squad. We got Brooks, you cut. We actually have some tough decisions here. Barnes, William Barnes, you cut. And then we'll take Delano Hill, you cut. Oh, we still got one more cut to go. Let's take Chris Westry. Just hasn't been panning out. Height, weight, speed, freak. And you cut. And finally, to show off the sliders and all the settings and the fun stuff that we're going to be utilizing, we are playing on all Madden. It being the end of the season, injuries come back on because, the preseason. I am still, if anyone out there knows like the best quarter length accelerated play clock. Still my birthday weekend, still recovering, If anyone knows the best quarter length and accelerated clock times, let me know if this isn't the money. So, I could be open. I've heard a lot of people saying they use 12 minutes with accelerated. I don't know. But for right now, 9 and 20 works for me. Going to our sliders, we'll start with XP sliders. This is where I'm rocking right now. I feel like it's a pretty good money zone. You guys have seen every step of the way how these guys are growing and developing. It really ultimately still comes down to the dev trait. I will notice the fact that Damian Ratley did not get a single overall point upgrade. We're going to knock that up to 125 to see if that helps out just a little bit. So take a picture because I'm not really going to break down everything. This is a mix of looking at the baseline of T-Dog sliders and Operation Sports and then kind of modified it all out to get to the money zone that I feel pretty confident about. And then going to the gameplay sliders. So Matt 10, those were my go-to sliders in Madden 19. These are a lot. At least we based it off of his last slider set. I have some big time differences to mine, especially when it goes to quarterback accuracy for the computer. But here's what we're rocking with now. One change that I want to make from the preseason is I want to up this pass blocking here to about 52. I thought that we were giving up way too many sacks. It was our backup offensive line, but I felt like we're giving up 8 sacks against, we're not going up with your JJ Watts and your Myles Garrett's and your Joey Bosa's. So I'll bump that up to 52, catching 45. All these things here are fairly generic at this point, but my QB accuracy, pretty much any big recommended slider set has this in like the 40s. Way too much. The money zone is, I think, between 15 and 20. You really do feel it for big-time quarterbacks. I feel like everything is more consistent unless you're going up against an elite quarterback. If you're going up against like a top 5, like a Rivers, Mahomes, Brady, Drew Brees, they're going to torch you either way. There's not much you can do. But I felt like when these sliders are at like 40, you were still getting destroyed by like Jameis Winston's and all that stuff. So 18, 19 has been where I'm kind of experimenting with right now. I think 19 is the money zone for me. The rest of these things are fairly generic. I also jacked up my special teams, at least when it comes to field goal power and accuracy. I find like the AI is horrendous. Like they will miss consistently anything in the 40s. So I'm trying to help them out here. And it always feels like they're not getting enough kick power behind it. So this is much more, because I'm one of the best field goal. In my opinion, I'm the best field goal kicker on YouTube. So I don't need these, but just try to make the computer, because I feel like the computer right now is at like literally 25% success rate for their field goal. So I'm trying to help them out. Injuries are at 18, fatigue's 45. This is something that's a big change for me. I usually have I'm used to having like 15 as my speed threshold, but Matt 10 for his sliders, he's almost swearing by 75, 80, somewhere in that range as the money zone right now for Madden 20. So I constantly tweak and fix all these things here throughout the year. That's why I always want to show you in the preseason, because that just shows you what I'm rocking with after a bunch of little tweaks and stuff like that. Penalties, for whatever reason, under the hood, penalties have a lot to do with gameplay. So I usually never really thought about that. I wouldn't even think twice. But he says up defensive pass interference to 70, you get better animations. And I think false start and holding, that has something to go with the animations for defensive and offensive line engagements. So there you go, man. Those are the sliders that I am going to be rocking with here for year 3 of the Vegas Raiders franchise mode. So, you know, go give them a try. I'm always looking for you guys to, if you guys are playing all Madden and you feel like some of your numbers here are different than mine, maybe pound the table saying, you know, I want QB pass accuracy at 23 because of this, or I think your fumbles should be at 75. I'm getting a lot less cheese. Because fumbles, that's a tough one right there. So, you know, always trying to build some nice community sliders here, and I hope you guys did enjoy mine. So that is going to do it for the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy the preseason. The Trevor Lawrence era is upon us. I cannot wait. Week 1, we got the Chiefs. Week 2, we got the Redskins. I think that'll be episode 22. It should be up. Probably, it might be a doubleheader Monday or Tuesday. We have a long weekend here in Canada. So I might actually just want to play the Raiders franchise again. But if not Monday or Tuesday, we'll be back again for the Vegas Raiders. The first preseason is in the books for Trevor Lawrence. Now it's time for when the games finally matter. How well is he going to perform? I honestly have no clue. But hopefully very well, because we gave up a lot to bring him here. So thank you guys for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking the talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr.